program, then you do the lathe. It's not the right way to work. It's a waste of money. Maybe you're going to spend hours on the controller making the synchronization. Or maybe you're going to get a gouge, or you don't even want to think about breaking a spindle in such an expensive machine. So we need the right synchronization manager to be there, because if we are not going to have the right software which can support this kind of environment, we're not going to have a multitasking machine. Again, what a waste of good money. How can you make a return on your investment? Another example is the micro-milling. If you want to have this, if you want to be a specialist on micro-milling, and you want to work with these tiny parts, with these very small tolerances, you need the free ingredients there. You must have a machine which supports micro-milling. And we are working a lot with DMG because they are focused, they have a DMG subsidiary which works and produces these special machines. And we work with them a lot because to have a tool path, which is micro-milling but also high-speed milling, is not something that everybody has, so we work with them a lot. So it's a special machine, and you need special tools. Very tiny, very accurate tools. And you need the right toolpath as well. If you don't have the three of them, it's not micro-milling again. Now, suppose that you're a tool maker and you want to boost your tool shop by buying a 5x milling machine. It's a very good investment, very good idea. You're going to save a lot of setups in order to machine from different directions. That means that, of course, you're going to save the time of the setup, and also will eliminate a lot of mistakes that might happen from manual setups. And these mistakes are very painful in your pocket. You may use your 5x machine to go into very big cavities, because if you don't have this 5x machine, well, one option is to use these ridiculous long tools with small radiuses. Other option, and even if you work very slow, you're going to get terrible results, terrible quality. You can go for electrodes, right? But this is a waste of time. It's a long process and a lot of mistakes again. But if you have this 5x machine capabilities, then you go to these big corners, you're going to work with these conic tools, and you get very fast, good quality results, small radiuses. It's actually so robust that you can work on these huge parts. This is a bumper, a car bumper. You can't see it here, it's huge. And you go into the smaller places and you get very good surface quality, very good results, very fast. And last but not least, when you have this kind of a shallow surface part, in this case we show here it's a cover for a cell phone. That was made in Korea by one of our customers. Actually, what you can do is to give your tool a 15 degree, let's say 15 degree lead. And by that, you will avoid to work with the dead part of the tooltip, dead part, the center. And if you work like that, here you can see the 3x milling, and here you can see the 5x with 15 degree leading. Even you work very slow, you still have the marks the quality is not there. Now the reason in that example, what happened was that the OEM was pushing the supplier to move into 5X machine in order to save time, because here they got polish-less quality. It means they save 1 day of manual polishing after they made the 3X milling. And that was the demand. They had to save the 1 day. And when they saved the 1 day, they could be a supplier for that OEM. So we all agree that you need to have the correct toolpath in order to be there, in order to be special. Because if you are not going to make the right toolpath, you're not going to have the right environment. And by that, you're not going to be special, and you can't make the return on investment. Now, what is this environment for special toolpath? First of all, the toolpath must support the environment that you need to. If it is high-speed milling, we need a toolpath for high-speed milling. If it is MTM, you need a toolpath, a CAD software which is dedicated for MTM. If it's a micro-milling, you need a micro-milling toolpath. If it's not there, this is not the right solution for you to use. You need to have analysis tools, like good simulators, because you want to make sure that you will find the mistakes on the CAD CAM, not on the machine. You also need to have good post-processors, because if you don't have the right post-processor, the machine will not run, the machine will not dance. And for 3X milling, it's relatively easy if one knows how to do. For 5X milling, it becomes a challenge to write a good post-processor. You need the right local guy that understands the machining on one hand, understand the machine requirement, and understand how to write the right post-processor in order to make it. Believe me, it's a big challenge to write a post-processor for an MTM machine. The request form is like 13 pages sometimes, 13 pages of small details. And there are no two machines in the world, MTM, that has the same post-processor. There are no two machines. Even you buy the same Mori Seiki machines with the same part number, it's different post-processor. Why? Because it depends on your own setup. How you want the thick bars to move or how you want to operate it. So it's quite a challenge. If you want your software to be easy to use and easy to learn, it must be process driven. It must recognize the process that you are working on. Meaning, for example, 5X milling for tooling requires completely different functions compared to 5X production when you make, let's say, a blade or an impeller. The set of functions that you need to use is different, and when you're working, you need those functions to be available there. If they're not there and they're not available, you're working with the wrong functions for the wrong environment, for the wrong process. Surprisingly, we are talking about CAM, but surprisingly, we need to have CAD functionalities in our software. Sometimes we need to fix a bad geometry. Sometimes we want to add radiuses or draft angles. We want to add contours so the machine will follow. We want to cap holes. We want to extend surfaces. There are many, many reasons during your work where you need to do that, and you need these functions to be available immediately on the software. Just imagine that now you need to take it out to transfer it to another software. You lose information, you get wrong information, you need to check that you didn't lose information. It's going to be a mess. And every time you need to check. If it's there, and if it's available, and if it's part of it, it's important. It makes your life easier, you avoid mistakes. Mistakes cost money in the end. Nothing to do with the software. It's very important to have your local support. The local people that will train you. I always say, I'm coming from the company which makes the software. At the end of the day, the value of the software is the $10 disc that you can buy at the corner of the street, unless you have the right support. And the support is the name of the game. To know how to make it, to know how to use it in the right way to become special. Otherwise, you're just a mid-rate user. You can do some jobs, but you can never become special. You will never make the return on your investment. In order to be special, you need to know how to use, what is available, what is not available. So your local support needs to be there. You need to make sure that your machine will never stop. So whenever you call your support, they find a way, a workaround, a solution for you. And on top of that, you want to know that your local vendor has a backup from the software developer for anything happens. Complete backup, professional people, direct access. You don't want that they will have anything less than that. When it comes to choosing the software, we always look at the environment, we look at the feature. It could be the same also for the machine. Software, I would say, it's sometimes even more important, because software is something that you buy today, you train your people, you invest a lot of time to learn the software, and you want that the vendor of the software will be there not only today, but the next 10 years, that it will come up with new versions and development for the area where you're working with. And if they're not going to be there for you, if they cannot support you, if it's not one of these companies that you know that they will be there for a long time, and they will come up with the next version, you're actually maybe wasting